is, what it do, what it is, lads and ladettes. It's your boy Dakota Griswold of Gamers, Nerds, and Geeks United. Welcome back to Yesterday Today. This, of course, is the show where we bring you some of the biggest gaming news you may have missed from yesterday today. Jumping right into it, and well, some good news. You can start pre-ordering Xbox Series X games. Well, at least one of them. Medium, that will be launching on November 12th, the launch of the Xbox Series X, is now up for pre-order and Steam, the first game. So go ahead and get those pre-orders down if you're really interested in the whole horror thing. Remember, this is a game that exists on 2 different planes, and that's freaky enough for me. So if you're really into the horror games and you're really interested in this game, now's the time to go ahead and pre-order. Next up, I want to say that engineering manager for Bungie, Chris Kosanovich, he basically said that there won't be a new engine for Destiny going forward, despite all of the expansions. And here's an official statement. He said, regarding the engine, Aldridge may speak to this more, but every engine I've ever used has strengths and weaknesses. I certainly would not classify the Destiny engine as archaic, and I certainly wouldn't want to try to build Destiny in any other engine. Of course, there are processes that are slow, and we're making improvements to address our tech debt. Not totally sure what you mean about a new engine in future titles, but we updated the engine from D1 to D2 and continue to update the engine during D2 development. We'll never make a whole new engine and move Destiny to it, but any future games that Bungie makes wouldn't necessarily need to use the Destiny tech if it doesn't make sense for that game. So, okay, it doesn't seem, I guess basically if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Destiny seems fine. I played a little bit of it this weekend, but I'm not one of those super go-harders. I'm not a super Destiny fan, not a die-hard fan. But let me know down in the comments below if you think there's something wrong with the engine, if there's something that you can complain about that can be fixed, at least engine-wise, if it can be patched out, if it can't be patched out. We already know that Bethesda's been using some super archaic engines for their games that it just really hasn't been updated for a while. But hey, maybe Destiny is fine where it's at. And speaking of Bethesda, Christopher Weaver, one of the founders, well, basically the founder of Bethesda and one of the co-founders of ZeniMax, he actually had an official statement on the acquisition. And basically he said, I do not think it is an accident that this announcement occurred so close to Sony's PS5 announcement. There are only a limited number of proven creators of AAA, what Microsoft owns. Sony cannot get. Yeah, just keep it straight up funky. I mean, I really thought that it was just basically a blow to Sony. They was just like, oh, y'all want to announce y'all PS5 and all of that? Cool. We're going to let y'all know how it's hanging and let people know that we've acquired Bethesda. Now, everybody's just like, what's Bethesda? Wolfenstein, Doom, Prey, Dishonored, a lot of really good games. Now, these aren't games that, you know, maybe they don't always sell as great as a Sony exclusive, but they are definitely a heavy hitter in the third-party marketplace. And now they're first-party, technically, because they're owned by Microsoft. And this is interesting. All right, lads and ladettes, let's get into the real meat and potatoes here. And I have some disappointing news. Let's just talk about the fact that a UK retailer by the name of Shop2 has said that Sony has started contacting them, letting them know that you might not get all of the PS5s you have put up for pre-order. I'm actually not super disappointed that I haven't even gotten a pre-order for PS5 yet, because this has been a year. And just so they released an official statement, and VGC, the Video Games Chronicle, a staff member had spoke to them and said, we have received the allocation details from Sony, and unfortunately we regret to inform you that we will not be able to fulfill your pre-order on day 1 release date. That is very disappointing news. That is, you imagine you pre-order your PS5 and you get this email and you see this. That sounds really what 2020 is. That sums 2020 up in a statement. It was just a year full of delays and disappointments and all kinds of stuff like that. But honestly, if I pay my money for this stuff, I just want it. That's it. Because we know what happened with this year, because we know that we are in the middle of a pandemic, we know that this might actually happen. Let's credit to Sony and Microsoft the fact that these these consoles are actually coming out still, even with all the delays and issues that we've definitely had. So still shout out to Sony for still getting it to them, and I'll get it when I can get it. All right. Hopefully a week after, maybe 2 weeks after launch. fine, whatever. But regardless, you'll catch me doing an unboxing here, period. Now, let's move on. So it's a little bit more of disappointing news, and there's a little issue with backwards compatibility when it comes to the PS5, right? So RGG Studios, the ones who make Yakuza Like a Dragon, they basically tweeted out, to clarify, physical owners of Yakuza Like a Dragon on PS4 can also use the original disc to upgrade to the PS5 version when it releases on March 2nd, 2021. Save data will not be transferable between the PS4 and PS5 versions of the game, probably because sometimes, like when you have these cross-gen games, the engine is just basically just different. And if you really try to carry stuff over to the next engine, it would lead into files corrupting. So yeah, it's kind of really undefeatable there. It's up to devs. They can do their best. They can try to help. But then you got another tweet out by a Yakuza fan, and he asked, dumb question, are the Xbox saves transferable between gens? Not really an Xbox guy. And Jonathan Sebel, who was on the development team, he says, yes, we confirmed it quite a while ago. So it might be good to explicitly mention it again. Smart delivery and cross-save between Xbox Series X, S, and Xbox One X is supported. PlayStation, it doesn't work. Okay, so I don't understand why we're getting surprised. PlayStation really said that they really wouldn't be making backwards compatibility that big, huge, important thing, but at least we still get it in some vein. Remember when they tried to get us to spend money maybe on cross-gen games, or extra money on cross-gen games, or even just to borrow a game from a friend, you got to pay for some licensing thing. I'm just happy that I can just basically take my game and put it in the next-gen system and it works. So to avoid all of this, I'm just definitely going to wait for the next gen to start, and then I'm going to get these games. I'm not going to go with all of these issues here. So let's move on to Xbox, right? And well, Bo Moore from IGN, he put out an article and basically straight up said, Xbox Series X backwards compatibility, most Xbox One X games run at 60 frames per second in 4K. I'm talking about stuff like Sekiro, which struggled when it first came out, runs at a buttery smooth 60 frames per second, and sometimes drops into the 50s, except when it's like a lot of stuff on screen, you know. But you got to give it credit where credit is due. And so it's really, really awesome. 4K quality mode and up to 60 frames per second. You definitely can't go wrong with that. But then let's just talk about the fact that Ryan McCaffrey went hands on and started talking about the Xbox Series X and how great it is. He's talking about quick resume. He's talking about how fast stuff boots up. Then I went and found a chart basically, and this chart is amazing, right? I'm talking about current gen games because there aren't any next gen games available yet. So you got Call of Duty Warzone on the Xbox Series X, it takes 16 seconds. On the Xbox One X, it takes 21 seconds. Not bad, right? A couple seconds ain't bad. But then you got Red Dead Redemption 2. It took 52 seconds on the Xbox Series X, but 1 minute and 35 seconds on the One X. Outer Worlds took 6 seconds on the Series X, 27 seconds on the One X. Evil Within 2, 33 seconds on the Series X, 43 seconds on the One X. Now get this one. Sea of Thieves, 20 seconds on the Series X. 1 minute and 21 seconds. A whole minute and 20 seconds more, basically. You understand what I'm saying? And a minute and 1 second. So, and then of course you got Warframe, 25 seconds compared to 131. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, 30 seconds compared to 1 minute and 7 seconds. This stuff is just, it's fast. It legit is fast. And you should definitely be excited. Because I know I used to really get frustrated. Like if I'm booting up one of these big games, or if I'm booting up Destiny or open world game, this stuff takes ages to boot up. And speaking of Destiny, it takes 43 seconds on the Series X to boot up compared to the Xbox One X's 1 minute and 52 seconds. Absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. And I can't wait. And then Ryan McCaffrey also goes to and says it really looks good standing up. It's pretty heavy. He said it feels pretty good. It feels like, you know, you spent $500 on it for whatever that means. It really feels really great. And the fact that everything is moving so fast, and that quick resume is quick. And they also, when you click quick resume and you bounce between games, you don't have to boot everything up all the way. Quick resume, it highlights on the screen, of course, and then it lets you know, like, all right, cool. You can boot it right up. It probably takes 5 to 10 seconds, and you're back exactly where you started. Because you know, in this gen, like, say if you're playing a game, you stop, you go to another game, and then you go to Netflix, and like, oh man, I'm lost or whatever. But not with quick resume. You can bounce between games, and it's pretty quick, about 10 seconds, maybe even less. So I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to hear what they do with the PS5. I really want to know about the PS5's SSD because they really spoke a lot about it and they hyped it up. So I can't wait to see what that's like. But lads and ladettes, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button. If not, hit the dislike. If you're new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and scroll it to all so you know when your boy is posting. Thank you so much for watching, and this video is finito.